question we ask each other, but I think I need to ask myself and each one of us, my dear heart, why do we lie? Why it is becoming so common that as if it is norm. Subhanallah. And lying has a huge impact on my heart. You're going to say, why is that? What is the relationship between lying or not saying the truth and my pure heart? You know why? Because it's a major sin. It's a major sin. And lying literally is saying something, not the truth, not what it is, and you know it is not true. For example, someone invites you for an occasion and you write in the RSVP, yes, but you know you're not going to be going. That's lying. Versus you said, I'm going, and you had the intention, and that day something happened, that's a different story. And when you say to somebody, I don't know, but you know, but you don't want to tell them. Instead of saying, you know what, maybe it's not the best time to say it, you say, I don't know. Subhanallah. And Allah said it in the Quran. The result of lying, I'm going to be pulled away from Allah. He's not going to open the door for me to be guided and to get close to Him. He said it in Surah Al-Zumar, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَهْدِي مَنْ هُوَ مُسْرِفٌ كَذَّابٌ. Allah, verily Allah will not guide the person who is transgressor, wasteful, and kadhab, liar, right? And look at this hadith. It's beautiful one, هذا. إياكم والكذب. Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam is absolutely warning you and me, beware of lying. Why? What did I say? What is the big deal? فإن الكذب يهدي إلى الفجور. Lying will lead to immorality. وإن الفجور يهدي إلى النار. And immorality will lead to the hellfire. وما يزال الرجل يكذب. And the son of Adam, the man or the woman, continues to lie. So it's not one time, I didn't mean it. It's continuous. It's like becomes my manners. ويتحرى الكذب, not only continue to lie, but looks where it is the best to lie. حتى يكتب عند الله كذابا. Till he is written or she is written with Allah, her description, his description is a liar. And Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam said the following, آية المنافق ثلاث. The sign of a hypocrite. And here is not hypocrite in deen, meaning not hypocrite in the belief. That's a different story. But hypocrisy in actions, hypocrisy in manners. Three things. May Allah protect us all, that we are not. إذا حدث كذب. When he or she speaks, they lie. You know, sometimes you say, don't listen to anything they say. Everything they say is not truth. Oh, they usually lie. You don't want to be that person. وإذا وعد أخلف. If he or she promise, they do not keep it. Oh, I'm coming. And you say, sure, they will not be coming. I don't want to be that. وإذا اؤتمن خان. And when you give him or her something that they should take care of it, it's an amana, it's a trust, they will betray it. Oh, don't tell them anything. They will not keep it. Oh, don't give them that thing. They will not. So let's all learn, adults, teenagers, and children. Al-kadhib muharram. It is absolutely haram. Now, the worst one is when I lie about Allah and the Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam. This is something for everybody. We live in a day and a time where information can spread very quickly. You can post a hadith, share a hadith. Before you do that, please make sure that this hadith is what the Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam said. And these days, very easy to check. Because he said this, and this is a hadith mutawatir. Mutawatir mean uninterrupted chain. And the possibility of this hadith that the Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam did not say it is almost zero. And he said, Man kadhaba alayya muta'ammidan, whomsoever lie about me intentionally, let him look or let her look at their place in the hellfire. Don't share things about the Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam unless you are sure this is true. Second, the commonest thing, we lie between each other. And the question we all have to ask ourselves, why do we lie? This is something very interesting. One time I was with a group of teenage girls, right? And we were talking about lying. And I just asked this question, and I said, how many of you lie? I think we were about 30 or 40 girls with me, and not a single hand stayed. So I said, mashallah, you all are truthful. At least you're telling me you lie. Well, why do you lie? So I asked a couple of them, and one of them said, and they were telling me the story, how did they lie? But the common scenario, number one, I am worried that I will get punished from people, especially younger girls. My mom will not be happy with me. She may do this or that. Second, just to make people laugh so they will like me. Third, so I fit in with people. I say things about me not true. Now look at this. This is the commonest. I mean, there's more reasons, but the commonest reason, am I afraid from people being upset with me? Well, I need to be afraid. Allah is going to be upset with me. It's a major sin. Do I really want to fit in with people by lying? I don't want to be part of those people. I need to fit with people who will take me to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Do I want to make people laugh? Well, make them laugh with something true. And sometimes also we brag about ourselves. We say things about ourselves is not true, right? So I was given a raise. I am the boss in my work. I'm not. But I just want to what? Impress people. It's all about people. And I don't want to be under my name. When I come to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, may Allah protect us. Ya Rabbi Ameen. I come to Allah and He's looking at my book. You know when they write your book, the name on the top of the book, and what is the title under? Kadhaba. She's a liar. I don't want that. Subhanallah. Having said that, there is only 3 circumstances where lying is allowed. Number 1, fil harb. When there is war and lying is allowed. Saying something, we are going to go south, in reality we are going north. Second, which is very important, and we rarely do it, when there is 2 people who have an issue between them, quarrel between them, they're not talking to each other. I come and I want to bring them back together. I want the relationship to go back together. Then I'm going to say something which is not true. For example, 2 friends, right? And there were some issues between them. I go to this and I say, you know what? Yeah, they said that, but you don't know what they said also about you. And then I say something not true to praise them, meaning she or he said about you this good thing. It's not true, but my intention to bring them back together. And the same thing in marriage. Between a husband and a wife, the husband can say things to the wife to please her, although it may not be true. And the same thing, the woman can say things to the husband to please him, to make them love each other more. And this is actually a hadith of Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam. Al-harb, during war, al-islah bayn al-nas, to bring people together, to rectify a relationship. وَحَدِيثُ الرَّجُلِ امْرَأَتَهُ وَحَدِيثُ الْمَرْأَةِ زَوْجُهَا. That when the husband talks to the wife and the wife talks to the husband. And this is related to siyam. And so let's not belittle and make our siyam much less by other actions. And he said, alayhi salatu wasalam, Imam al-Tabarani narrated this hadith, as-siyamu jannah. Fasting is a shield. Ma lam yakhruquh. This shield is a shield as long as we did not make a hole in it. They asked him, what is going to put a hole in my siyam? قال يكذب أو غيبة. He lies or she lies or backbite. Let us, during this blessed month, teach ourselves, train ourselves that we should not lie. And as-sidqu manja, they always say this. Telling the truth, you will always be saved. If not in this dunya, for sure, you're saved. In akhirah, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu taqullaha wa kunu ma'as sadiqin. Believer, be Allah conscious and be among those who are truthful. Because either I am truthful or I am a liar. I don't want to be that. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us to practice this. May Allah show us when we are about to lie that this is something not pleasing to Allah, let alone it is haram. Ya Rabbi Ameen.
ولا تخزني يوم يبعثون يوم لا ينفع مال ولا بنون إلا من أتى الله بقلب سليم.